Good morning. It's Tuesday, May 6th. Here's what we're working on today. A 49-year-old woman has died following a residential fire in Brantford.
A Grimsby jewelry store reopens after another robbery.
And the Toronto Maple Leafs take Game 1 in the second round of the playoffs. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. I'm Simone Gavros in for one more day on the desk, and Emily Taylor is in for the rest of the week.
Hello.
And of course, Brian is here as well. Good morning.
Welcome, you two. Nice to have you here.
It's so nice to be on the desk for one of the first times we've done this together, so this is really cool.
Second day in a row, but second time we've ever done this.
Yes.
And it's been a couple of days. The fog out there, I don't know if you were driving in around the same time, probably. I could not see a couple of meters ahead of me, especially when you come up the hill and you're in Waterdown.
That's right. Yeah, the fog advisory is in effect right now for Hamilton, Waterdown as well, Burlington into Oakville. Other areas don't have a lot of fog. Niagara doesn't have a lot of fog. When I left my area this morning, there was no fog, and all of a sudden, bang, you hit it as you get into Waterdown. So be careful. There are fog patches around us, and the visibility is really poor. So we're getting some light rain to start the morning here. It's going to be cloudy, but at least today, a couple of good things. A couple of good things is we'll get more sunshine for the day today. We're going to have a better temperature. We should hit 18 degrees, much better than yesterday. And the wind is going to shift around and become fairly light today. So we'll lose that cold northeasterly wind we had yesterday. So we're looking for a high today of 18 degrees. We're sitting at 7 right now, and we do have some light rain and fog. So take care on the roads. Speaking of which, looking at the 403 and Waterdown Road, that's okay right now. Just the wetness to contend with. That's really all you have. Here, there's not a lot of fog, but other areas, oh yeah. Let's go to some MTO traffic cameras. No fog here at the Red Hill Creek. As you can see, that looks pretty good. The south end of the Burlington Skyway Bridge, not a lot to see there. Going through Bronte Road, there's no problems with the traffic, but as you can see, as you get a little further into Mississauga, there's a fair bit of fog around, so be really careful this morning. We will check weather and traffic, of course, in more detail for you coming up in a few minutes. Right now, the news.
Thanks, Brian. A 49-year-old woman has died of her injuries after a fire in Brantford, and police have now launched a criminal investigation. Sean Cowan is live on Buchanan Crescent with more details. Good morning, Sean.
Good morning, Simone. Well, I'm here in the area of Wayne Gretzky Parkway and Linden Road in Brantford's north end, and this is the townhome that went up in flames yesterday inside this townhouse complex. It just started before 8 o'clock in the morning. At the time, the woman was taken to the hospital where she was pronounced dead, and police are now calling this a criminal investigation. Brantford Police say the woman lived in the home, and there were also 3 other adults inside at the time of the fire, and they were also taken to the hospital, but the extent of their injuries are not being released at this time. Neighbors say they saw smoke and flames pouring from the window of the townhouse during the height of the fire.
I ended up waking up and I had smelled smoke, and it kind of smelled a little bit more like burning rubber. And when I looked at my backyard, it was just filled with smoke, and immediately I knew one of the places around here was on fire. So I immediately run out in my pajamas, bare feet. I grabbed my fire extinguisher. I tried to find which unit was on fire, but by the time I got to the front, it was already 4 feet engulfed flames coming out the front window of the apartment.
So when I went to the window and looked, I see smoke coming through that window, you know what I mean? Then I see the fire truck, man, them just run inside here, kick off the door, you know, go inside here and run out back with a lady inside of a blanket, you know, yeah, because she has severe burn. They couldn't hold her.
And no word yet on how this fire started or if Brantford Police are looking for anyone. I have reached out to police this morning. As soon as I hear back, I'll update you with more information. But for now, Emily, I'll send it back inside to you.
Thanks, Sean. Harmony Jewelers in Grimsby has reopened its doors after another daytime robbery last month. The business owner posted on Facebook letting the community know that they are once again open and, quote, stronger, safer, and more grateful than ever. The store says they have put enhanced safety measures in place, including armed guards and a new concrete barrier. The jewelry store has been robbed 3 times this year, but the latest one saw a black pickup truck reverse through the storefront. Armed robbers entered the store, stole a number of items, and fled the scene in a waiting vehicle. Thankfully, no one was injured. Police continue to look for the 5 suspects.
The Prime Minister is in Washington, D.C. ahead of a meeting with U.S. President Donald Trump. Trade will be the main topic of conversation as Trump has rattled the Canada-U.S.-Mexico trade agreement, which is expected to be reviewed next year. Canada and Mexico were hit early with tariffs by Trump, who has tied the tariffs to the flow of fentanyl and people crossing into the U.S.
What's your expectation for your meeting with the Canadian Prime Minister tomorrow?
I don't know. He's coming to see me. I'm not sure what he wants to see me about, but I guess he wants to make a deal. Everybody does. They all want to make a deal because we have something that they all want.
Mark Carney expects talks with Trump and his team to be difficult but constructive as Canada tries to resolve a trade war with its neighbor. Carney is in D.C. with Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc, Foreign Affairs Minister Melanie Joly, and Public Safety Minister David McGuinty.
Meantime, in an interview with Fox Business, U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick says he's skeptical of cutting a trade deal with Canada.
It's really complex. I think this is really complex because they have been basically feeding off of us for decades upon decades upon decades, right? They have their socialist regime, and it's basically feeding off of America. I mean, the president calls that out all the time. Why do we make cars in Canada? Why do we do our films in Canada? Come on. So I think the president's going to have, I think it's going to be a fascinating meeting. I'm glad I'm going to be there listening. But it's going to be a fascinating meeting.
Lutnick's comments come after Carney said the previous relationship between the two nations, where each worked to integrate with the other, is over.
Correct. So next year is.
Alberta's premier is set to take questions from reporters today about her live stream address promising a referendum on separation.
Our government will not be putting a vote on separation from Canada on the referendum ballot. However, if there is a successful citizen-led referendum petition that is able to gather the requisite number of signatures requesting such a question to be put on a referendum, our government will respect the democratic process.
Smith says she wants a so-called Alberta Accord to guarantee access to tidewater, repeal the West Coast tanker ban, and reform other energy policies. The province is also seeking a restructuring of the federal equalization program to match what Ontario, BC, and Quebec receive on a per capita basis.
Premier Doug Ford is asking Prime Minister Mark Carney to prioritize nation-building projects like a tunnel under the Highway 401. Ford made a request in a letter to Carney, setting out a series of Ontario priorities he hopes Carney will address. In the letter, Ford says Carney asked Canadian premiers to identify nation-building projects during a meeting in March. Ford's Ontario priorities include the Ring of Fire, nuclear energy generation, GO passenger train service, and a new James Bay deep-sea port. Ford's government is moving forward with a feasibility study on the tunnel.
The NDP's National Council has selected a BC MP to serve as the party's interim leader. Don Davies is taking over for Jagmeet Singh, who lost his Burnaby Central seat in the April 28th election. Davies led the NDP's negotiations with the Liberal government on advancing dental care and pharmacare legislation while serving as health critic in the last session of Parliament. A party official says the rules and timing for a leadership contest will be determined a little later.
All right, let's go to sports now. It was a roller coaster of emotion for Maple Leafs fans last night as Toronto opened their second round NHL playoff series against Florida.
Flipping it in, there's the hero of Game 6. Max Pacioretty scored the game-winning goal. Fourth time he has won a series with a winning goal. Nylander scores! 33 seconds in.
Our Smoke Avro is very excited about this. All right, William Nylander scored on the first shot of the game just 33 seconds into the contest to give the Leafs an early lead. And he would score again midway through the first period to put Toronto ahead 2-0. Seth Jones answered for the Panthers before Morgan Rielly restored Toronto's 2-goal lead late in the first. With Toronto up 4-1 in the second, Florida's Sam Bennett crashes into the Leafs goalie, Anthony Stolarz, forcing him to leave the game and replaced by Joseph Woll. The Panthers made it a one-goal game in the third period, but Matthew Nyes netted awarded the eventual game winner as Toronto wins Game 1 5-4. After the game, all the talk was about the Leafs win and Bennett's hit on Stolarz.
Elbow to the head. Yeah, clearly. Yeah, clear as day.
Bennett was not penalized on the play. Stolarz was seen vomiting on the bench during a TV timeout before exiting the game and was later taken by ambulance to hospital for evaluation. The 31-year-old stopped 8 of 9 shots in the game, but his status for Game 2 on Wednesday and beyond is unknown.
The winner of the 2025 NHL Draft Lottery and the first overall selection in the 2025 Upper Deck NHL Draft belongs to the New York Islanders.
The Islanders won Monday's NHL Draft Lottery, jumping over 9 other teams to grab the #1 overall pick in this summer's draft. The Islanders, who were in the midst of a front office change, overcame having just a 3.5% chance of winning the lottery. Utah also made a big jump, going from 14th to 4th overall in selection. The Sharks will pick 2nd after entering the day with the best odds of landing the top choice.
Canada has received another boost for the upcoming World Hockey Championship. A day after superstars Sidney Crosby and Nathan MacKinnon confirmed they would join the Canadian roster, veteran goaltender Marc-Andre Fleury has also agreed to play in the tournament. The 40-year-old is retiring after 21 seasons in the NHL and will play at the Worlds for the first time. Fleury helped the Pittsburgh Penguins win 3 Stanley Cups and his 575 career wins in the second most in the NHL history.
The Hamilton Tiger Cats will open training camp tomorrow when rookies and quarterbacks report to McMaster University. The veterans will arrive on the weekend, and most of the team's practices will begin at 8:30 a.m. Hamilton will play their first preseason game at home against the Argos on May 24th and open the regular season in Calgary on June the 7th.
Coming up on 6:12, good morning. Welcome to this foggy, yeah, as you can see now, the fog is really settling in here. Wasn't quite that bad a while ago. Foggy Tuesday morning, the 6th of May. 6th of May, let me just yeah, 6th of May. Sometimes I have to double check. Let's get you going here. As you can see, 403 Waterdown Road. Traffic, no problem. It's the visibility that is the problem around Hamilton, Hoqueville, even into Mississauga getting some fog. Let's check some MTO traffic cameras. No fog here, but wet roads, QEW in Ontario, nothing at the Red Hill Creek. Here's Fairview Street, already slowing a little bit. Nothing around the Ford plant or Cawthra, doing pretty well. Check the temperature that we start with for today. Today, we do have fog patches. Fog advisory in effect for Hamilton, Halton, Peel. 7 degrees is our temperature right now. Relative humidity right up there at 100%. Yes, the sun is up already, but it's we're not seeing a lot of it. The winds, thankfully, so far are fairly light. For school today, we should hit 18 degrees, so a lot milder today than yesterday. We'll get a bit more sun for the day today, but still a chance of a shower or a thunderstorm. No problems with air quality this morning or the afternoon. Here's the precipitation we've had over the past 6 hours. As you can see, it's been pushing in from the south across southern Ontario. Low pressure system, the culprit, and it's going to stay with us for the day today and then move off. But a bit of a cold front will go through, and that'll drop the temperatures not tomorrow, but as we get toward the end of the week. I mean, it won't be cold or anything. It'll just be a little bit cooler. So today, 18, 19, 20. Some sunshine. We'll call it a mainly cloudy sky, but chance of showers and thunderstorms. Chance of showers, slim chance overnight, but staying mild at 11 degrees, 9 to 8 for other areas, 12 for Peel and Toronto. And then tomorrow, we'll see a bit more sun, but a slim chance of a shower. But 18 to 20 degrees for the day tomorrow. So temperatures getting better finally, and we'll get more sun for the day tomorrow. So out the door, yes, the 6th of May. It is fairly foggy. It is cloudy, and our temperature right now sitting at 7. Long range coming up. Emily Simone.
Thanks, Brian. I'll take some of that rain if it means warm weather.
Yes.
I don't mind that.
It's a trade-off.
All right, coming up after the break, we'll say good morning to Emily Vukovic with a preview of what's to come in Chit Chat. And Wonderland is being sued for drip pricing. We'll tell you what that means in 2. 6:16 on your Tuesday morning, and we're going to say good morning to Emily Vukovic. What do we have coming up in Chit Chat?
Hi, good morning. Netflix has released the trailer for the final season of Squid Games.
The final one, huh?
Season 3.
Okay.
I can't believe we've been able to make 3 seasons out of this, to be honest. I thought that was like a one and done.
So I know. This is like the #1 streaming show on Netflix. Like, it is breaking records. People are watching this in droves.
All right. We'll talk about it.
And I get why. I get why. MJ, the musical, is starting something in Toronto. And later on this morning, Rihanna and, wow, you guys spelled it out phonetically for me. ASAP?
Who is it? Yay! ASAP. Yep.
I've been calling him ASAP Rocky.
I think it's fun.
Yeah.
Let's make it a thing.
Yeah. But I love that it's spelled out phonetically for me now. Made a special announcement on the red carpet at the Met Gala.
Oh, I know. I was shocked.
We will discuss.
All right. Thanks, Emily. We'll talk to you in a bit. All right. Heading over to look at some business news. The Canadian dollar is up a couple basis points to 72.38 cents U.S. Gold is up another $63 an ounce, and crude gained back $1.17, trading at $58.30 a barrel. Checking midday trading in Europe, markets are trading near the baseline in London, but down in Frankfurt and Paris.
Over in Asia, markets remained closed in Tokyo, but trading reopened in Hong Kong and Shanghai, and both were closing higher. And North American stock markets closed lower yesterday, weighed down by trade worries and a drop in the price of oil. The TSX lost 78 points, the Dow dropped 98, and the Nasdaq closed 133 points lower.
The Competition Bureau is suing Canada's Wonderland for allegedly advertising misleading prices for tickets and items online. It alleges the amusement park advertises lower prices than what customers ultimately have to pay because of a mandatory online fee of up to nearly $10. The Bureau wants the Competition Tribunal to stop the park's alleged deceptive price advertising, impose a penalty, and make Wonderland refund affected customers. Canada's Wonderland calls the Competition Bureau's allegations unfounded and insists its fees are fully disclosed to customers.
U.S. President Donald Trump's announcement to impose 100% tariffs on movies produced outside of the U.S. is being called an assault on Canada's media production industry. In Hamilton, the city says 139 productions were filmed here last year, bringing in nearly $60 million to the local economy. And so far this year, the city of Hamilton has already issued 149 filming permits. The owner of Hamilton Film Studios, Zach Zor, says business is good right now, but uncertainty looms.
I don't even know what a 100% tariff on a movie is going to look like when some movies are made in pieces around the world.
We've announced $11 billion of cash flow support, $9 billion in deferred taxes, and $2 billion in WSIB premiums, which goes right into the pocketbooks of the businesses who are hiring and retaining the workers.
In the meantime, the Alliance of Canadian Cinema, Television and Radio Artists has been calling on the federal government to protect this industry from Trump's tariffs, saying the sector contributed over $11 billion to the national GDP in 2023-24.
Beginning May 17th, GO service to the Niagara area will be expanding. All existing Niagara trains on the Lakeshore West GO line will now be stopping at the West Harbour GO station. West Harbour customers will have 4 more train trips to choose from on weekdays and 6 new ones on the weekend. That means there are new direct train services between Hamilton, St. Catharines, and Niagara Falls 7 days a week. This is all thanks to new connecting track, which was originally planned to be finished this fall, and that was completed ahead of schedule.
Stats Canada is set to release key economic figures this week. The agency will release its international merchandise trade figures this morning. Then on Friday, the latest job figures for April will be released. In March, the Canadian economy shed 33,000 jobs, the biggest jobs loss since January 2022. Also, the unemployment rate ticked up to 6.7% compared with 6.6% in February.
All right, taking a break right now. Brian will be back with traffic and your 7-day forecast.
6:24 is the time on this foggy. Well, it doesn't look foggy here. It's pretty good at the QEW Niagara Street, so no problems on traffic right now. Let's look at some other cameras. Getting close to the Skyway Bridge, the south end, as you can see, it is a little foggy through here. We do have a fog advisory in effect for Hamilton, Burlington, Oakville. Flip ahead to east of Bronte. Just some raindrops on the camera there. Here's the fog at Sheraton as you go through Mississauga, dipping into the 403-407 split. That's fairly foggy and fairly wet on the roads as well with the showers that we have had. Temperatures at the moment, Hamilton's temperature last hour was 8. We've just come down to 7, but 9 Grimsby, Toronto, 10 for Mississauga. Seasonals this time of year, check them once again because they do fluctuate. 17 for the daytime high. We got to 13 yesterday. That's all we got. 6 for the overnight low. Sun Times records for the day today. And for today going to school. Now, it should be 14 degrees for the first bell, so better temperature today. Mainly cloudy skies, so there will be some sun. And then 18 for after school. There's that chance of a shower or a thunderstorm. So 18 degrees today, that's what the high will be. So that's about seasonal for this time of year. 11 overnight, still chance of a shower. Chance of a shower for tomorrow. Otherwise, we'll see more sunshine for the day. So a mix of sun and clouds, but a 20-degree high. Then the cold front goes through. That drops our temperature to 12, but at least we'll have sun for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 14, then 19 for Saturday. Mother's Day looks good as well, even into Monday, 15 and 19 degrees. That's your forecast. Simone, Emily.
And what a lovely forecast it is. Thank you, Brian. All right, the Falcon chicks on Hamilton Sheridan Hotel are here, and they hatched in record time over the weekend.
Ooh, all 4 eggs hatched within a little over 12 hours, starting with the first one at 3 a.m. Saturday morning. Mama McKeever left the nest just before 10 a.m. and the sharp-eyed falcon watchers spotted the second chick. Then just before 2 p.m., the third chick was here. Finally, around 3:30, the fourth chick broke its way out of the shell. Dad, Judson, was nearby as well after going hunting. McKeever laid her eggs back in March, so falcon watchers have been eagerly waiting for this moment ever since. And fun fact, yes, it is the 31st year the same nest site on the Sheridan has been used.
They're so cute.
They're so cute.
I guess now everyone's just going to watch to see when they take flight.
Yes. Well, that's the next thing. Do they get pushed out of the nest a little bit?
Or do they just grow up and do their thing? But yeah.
Fly away from the nest.
And the funny thing is that they actually have a live shot. I didn't know this. They have a live shot of the birds right now. They were just, you could just see the mom like moving slowly in the dark. So I wonder what she's up to now. You're going to see the babies there.
Yeah, sometimes in the light, we can check it out. We'll see the babies.
We'll check back in. They're going to be looking for their food. We love birds. Bird watchers over here.
Yep.
All right, stay with us. Plenty more to come right after the break.